So it functions like a website. And then the next one, this is my Tumblr. And so this is one of the image posts. And so it's kind of just like very basic, very simple. You just create something and then it's right there. And then it like kind of pre-makes all the color themes and that kind of stuff for you, the fonts and all of that, so you don't have to go through and like hand pick everything and format it, kind of like you had to do like back in the day with your MySpace. So blogging is really all about what you want. So then the next thing that is more related to business is about how you give your blog visibility. So if you're to create a blog for whether it's personal or for a business, you want to make sure that people can find your blog when they jump on Google or Bing for this example. And so one thing that pays off is to have similar blog posts and then having the link to your blog in a lot of places. So let's say you have a blog that's about politics. And so you're going to keep using the same keywords again and have, you know, politics in the name of a lot of your posts. So it's really about kind of having keywords and having similar blog posts so there's like a relative theme. And so then something else that's out there, I don't know how many of you have heard of a blog roll. And so that's where you like have a sidebar on a blog, and then it will have links to similar blogs. So like for example, I'm a communications student, and one of my blogs is like a portfolio. And so if you go to my best friend's blog, who's also a communications student, she has a blog roll that lists students who are also majoring in her realm of communications. So if someone's on her page and, you know, are going through her images and video, they'll see on the side, you know, Jasmine Gregory's professional blog, and they know if they click that they're going to find similar content, and so that I'm also a strategic communications major. So you're going to find these kinds of things also on my blog. And then another thing that's really similar to a blog roll is what's called a blog carnival. And so that's when your blog is like listed on a blog directory. So like for example, you know, there are like bloggings out there about parenting. And so for like on a blog carnival, you know, you'll have at the top, you know, like, you know, this is a, you know, place where you can find blogs about parenting. And so if you're interested in that topic, you can go to this blog carnival and find a bunch of sites that are relative to one topic. And so when you're trying to make your blog more visible, it really pays off to put your blog on like a blog roll or a blog carnival, because people who are searching for what you're offering will go there looking for it, and they'll be able to find you. And then similarly, you kind of want to submit your site to a lot of different social media outlets. So you want to advertise your blog on your Twitter, on your Facebook, whatever other websites you have. You want to link them all back to your blog, because the more links there are back out there to your blog with your name or with your company's name, the easier it is that people will find it, and the higher up it will come on Google search. Kind of an example with this is my name. If you go to Google and just type in plain Jasmine Gregory, no school or location tags, 2 years ago you would find absolutely nothing about me. But now if you do put my name in Google, you'll actually find my professional blog or articles that I have written that have been posted to my blog on the first page, and it's me. So I think that's pretty neat, because I'm only 19 and there are definitely a lot more Jasmine Gregorys out there that are older and on the web. So it's really about kind of how you link your blog out there and where else your blog is advertised. So if you do have a blog, like I said, if you guys, once you get to college, create professional blogs, I mean, have the links everywhere you can possibly have them. I mean, my blog links are like listed all over my Facebook. So I'm very easy to find. And so then another kind of thing, similar to what Aaron talked about, is SEO. And so I kind of looked up, you know, how can you make your blog come up easier when you're searching, and not just visible, but when you really want to get that search engine optimization. And so I found a website that had these 5 tips, and so one of them was to use keywords and phrases. And so on your blog, you want to have a series of keywords or key phrases that you keep using again and again to kind of link your blog to these key phrases. So especially when you have a business or a company that's doing a certain product or service, you kind of want to keep using words or keywords or phrases that are related to your service or to your product. So people will easily associate that with your blog, and then the more and more you have these keywords and phrases on your blog, the more relevant they'll be in Google. So if somebody is looking for something that relates to, say, these 2 keywords that you have, and you have these keywords 12 times on your blog, they're going to come up relatively high on Google because you keep repeating them, and that kind of gives it a sense of credibility. And so then another thing about these keywords and phrases, the second thing is keyword placement. And so you kind of want to be careful about where you place these keywords in your blog. So like if you have them in your titles, that instantly makes them more searchable, because as the spiders are crawling through, they're going to hit your titles first and then the actual content of your blog. So if you have these keywords in your titles, it's definitely going to pay off to your advantage. And then something else that helps with blogs, and similar with Twitter, if you're using Twitter in the business sense, is to have timely posting. So you're going to want to kind of post before noon when these spiders are crawling across the web, and you want to post often. So like, for example, some company blogs will, update whenever they have something, new coming out or something innovative. And these posts may only be happening once a month. And if people know that your company is only posting once a month, then they're not going to go to your blog a lot. And so when you do post, they're going to miss things. And so it definitely pays to your advantage to keep posting on your blog and to kind of keep it active. Because if you have an active blog, then when the spiders are crawling through the web, they will more easily find these things because you keep adding to it. And so then another thing, I already touched on, is getting linked. And so making sure that your links are out there, because the more things that link back to your blog, the easier it is for it to be found. So you definitely want to put your blog out there on like blog rolls and blog chronicles, on your Facebook, on your Twitter, wherever you can link back to your blog, you want to do it because it's going to make it easily found. And then kind of like I already touched on, the fifth and last one was frequent updates. And so you just want to keep adding content to your blog, because not only does it enhance your blog and give your blog more to put out there for people to find, but it increases visits from the audience, so they're going to kind of keep wanting more, because we know we're definitely a generation that wants more and more content and wants to keep building on things. And so if your blog follows that principle, people are going to learn to rely on it, especially if it's a company or consumer. And so then, as far as kind of business applications for blogging, a big thing that blogging has done for the business world, like I said, kind of with the Apple incident before, is it's kind of given consumers a voice. And then also it gives companies the opportunity to have dialogue with their consumers. So because there are people out there blogging about this, and there are company blogs, customers and consumers have the opportunity to post to these blogs and to kind of have a dialogue with the people that are creating products or providing services for them. And so then kind of one last thing that I wanted to touch on was a good example of a business blog. And so the one that I found was the corporate blog for Dell. So I don't know if any of you guys have Dell computers, but their corporate blog is one of the top corporate blogs that you can find out there on the web today. And so the Dell blog is updated frequently, which is something that I touched on. And the benefit of the Dell blog that's very strategic that Dell does is that pretty much all of the content that they're posting on there is related to Dell. So rarely do they stray. So when consumers come to this blog, they know they're going to find out stuff about Dell. They're going to find out about new programming. Pretty much anything related to Dell, consumers know they can come to this blog and there are going to be posts. And at the same time, they also have the opportunity to reply and leave their email and kind of have a dialogue with Dell. And so that's a really great company advantage if you're creating a blog for a company, is kind of to expect this open dialogue with consumers, especially if you have an open wall or posting system. And so, and like I said, kind of the last really neat thing about the Dell blog is that they constantly update it. So you pretty much know that any given day you're going to be able to find new content and material. So that's it for blogging. Does anyone have any questions?